Chris, good evening. How you doing?
Hey, good evening. Very good, very good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I haven't seen you, I think, since the last event in person anyway.
It's been
But
a while. It's been a
it's
while. You've
been a
been
while.
you've been all over the world. I've seen you
Uh,
traveling all over the country, man. I've seen you
yeah,
out there doing your thing, getting your feet wet.
trying to get out there. We stayed in connection, of course, through social media and emails. But for everyone joining us on here this evening, Chris Franco here. He is our I call our specialist when it comes to mobile home insurance, which is what we're going to be talking about slightly. I know Tuesdays is let's do deals, but we're trying to always trying to bring sources. Any way we can help you, and we are going to be talking about the event on February 24th. Where all of y'all can come in and also meet Mr. Chris in person. Now, for those of you joining me on Instagram here, I know it's minimal what you can see, but the Zoom is being recorded. It will be uploaded on YouTube. So that being said, Chris, before we get started, can you tell the people here watching a little bit about you and obviously some of the mobile home insurance you specialize in?
Yeah, my name is Christopher Franco. I'm a fully licensed insurance agent. I'm out of Atlanta, Georgia. I have my license pretty much for every state in the Southeast that touches Georgia, and we are rapidly expanding to other states as well. As Jay's needs grow, my needs grow as well, and I'm extending into those other states. Specializing all different types of mobile home insurance, whether you live in it, whether you're renting it, whether you're renovating it, or whether it's vacant and you're getting ready to sell it. There's a bunch of different type of policies, and each one is unique. And we're going to be going over all of that at the event on the 24th of February. And I'm very excited to meet all of you guys. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I'll even be able to do live quotes on the spot at the location.
That's
So
right. That's right.
we're going to be getting into all different types of insurance stuff. Really fun, exciting stuff.
This year, you said I've been traveling everywhere. I mean, we're just getting started. I've been saying, for the past couple of years, is we will be nationwide in the next 5 years, and I kind of believed it. But this year, we're really pressing for it. And one of those, for those of you joining on Instagram, is my goal is always to have a team, to have the same sources. I don't mind meeting new people, new connections. All that is phenomenal. But Chris is one of those connections. I really do hope he will go through us in every state and be across the board. So, that being said, you said something there, Chris, about the policies, and you'll be able to put some policies together. So let's dive right on into it. When it comes to the whole policies and insuring your mobile home, your asset, the big mistake people think is they see it as an expense. When that's part of investing, is you're protecting, as my coaches would say, your assets. You got to protect yourselves. Things happens, lives happens, and part of due diligence really, I mean, people don't need to wait for to get an investment or any of that before you call Chris. So, Chris, if I were to call you now and say, "Hey, I'm thinking, I haven't bought it, but I'm thinking about buying a mobile home in this area," what are some of the details you would need to just give me a quote?
Name, mailing address, and then the details of the property, year, make, model, length, and width, and the address where it's going to be, whether it's in a park or on private land. Pretty much that's it. I can get you a quote turned around within 30 minutes. More complicated ones can take another 24-hour turnaround, but most of the time it's not that complicated. I can get you 30 minutes, have a quote for you, and you really can't afford not to have the insurance on it.
Mhm.
It's not something you should think as an afterthought. It's just part of doing business. It's part of the expense of investing in mobile homes. And I can give you the information you need really quickly. I'll have my business card on hand. I do text, emails, phone calls. If I can't help you personally, I have a team, and we're all here to help you guys out and get you the information you need.
There it is. And again, when I'm thinking of sources, I need quick, fast, and now. Well, we live in this life of microwave. If it's taking longer to cook, I'm not interested. I lose my interest. So the same thing when I'm thinking about this, and nothing against other insurance companies. But before we met Chris, we were dealing with other national across the board, and they were good insurance, but it was exactly that. Email something, it wasn't direct. You couldn't just say, like Chris just said, text me, call me. You didn't have that ability. I would send an email, and 2 days later they would respond. And it wasn't with a quote, it was, well, we need something else. And again, this is just part of, because for us investors watching and all of you on Instagram, it's, if you're doing it correctly, don't wait until you actually buy the mobile home. You're doing it as part of your due diligence. But we all know part of due diligence is not the wait around and let me see what goes on. It's fast paced. So having Chris on the side like that who can get you a quote immediately, that's huge. And I mean, you don't need anything major either. I mean, things that every investor should know is the year, the make, the model, which you should have already had all this before you even call Chris, because you're getting an idea. This is something I want to invest in. So you get us a quote within 30 minutes or the next day, which is huge. So now part of the, a lot of people think a lot of homes cannot be insured. And obviously you can only talk about the state you're in, but what would be some things that would disqualify a mobile home from getting your insurance?
Right now, if it's over 25 years old in the coastal area, it's a little bit more complicated. I can
Okay.
still find companies that will take you, but those are the ones that are a little bit tougher. The coastal areas right now, the insurance companies are cracking down, and especially if it's an older unit, that can be a little bit harder to cover. But other than that, there's not too many things that make it very difficult. That's just a hot topic. And if you talk to
Yeah.
anyone in Florida, it's not just mobile homes, it's
Yeah.
any property in Florida right now is the same way. So it's not just
Yeah.
mobile homes.
Hearing that a lot more and more. And yeah, like you said, it's commercial, it's just is what it is. It's you coastal is more, it's got to do with the, obviously the place where it's located. But now part of these policies, so we're talking about different ones, whether I'm an investor or I live in one, you're talking about there's policies for each one. So talk a little bit about some of these policies, whether you're an investor rehabbing versus someone living or somebody living in it.
Yeah, if you're going to be doing renovations, you definitely want to disclose that. It's something that they can deny a claim for. If you're doing major renovations and you don't disclose it, fire happens and they come out and they see that you are remodeling the whole entire thing and putting a new roof on it and you didn't disclose it, that can be a reason for a claim being denied. So you definitely want to be upfront with me and let me know what's going on so I can make sure you're properly covered for what you're planning on doing.
Absolutely. Now, this next question is going to be for some of you, and I see some park owners on the Instagram call. Because here's a mistake that a lot of you also make, and I got a couple more questions before I let Chris go. But okay, now we're talking about policies. I'm rehabbing, or I'm ready to rent it because I'm an official landlord. So there's policies for that, like you just mentioned. Being transparent is always key. But what if I'm moving a mobile home? I don't think I've ever heard somebody say I'm going to move a mobile home, but I first have to get insurance. It's like this risk we just take anyway. So can you insure mobile homes that need to be moved?
Short answer is yes, I can. There's endorsements on policies for homes that are going to be moved. There's special circumstances and conditions to that, but you also want to find a mover. And I know you guys have plenty of movers in your network, and you want to make sure your mover is insured properly as well. These guys, they got to get permits, and in order to get the permits, they typically have to have proof of insurance. So you definitely want to connect with Jay on that and make sure your movers are properly insured. But the short answer is yes, I can insure mobile homes that are going to be moved.
There you go. And again, this is just part of it. So now the question that a lot of people will have, and this will be the last question. I know Chris is busy and it is deals night. So, all this sounds good. It's great to be insured and be covered. Who doesn't want insurance? But it costs so much. So here's some numbers for you. Chris, what would it cost? And I know it varies. I have a 1985 single wide 14 by 70 down in central Georgia. I'm going to do a very light rehab and then put it on the market for sale. What would a policy for something like that cost me?
Probably about $800 a year, in that range, give or take $100 or $200. You're typically looking about that price. And that's single wide Central Georgia. They love Central Georgia. They'll eat that up all day with these insurance companies. So they love Central Georgia. That's right up their alley of the companies that want to write mobile homes.
So there you go, $800. Now, he didn't say that a month, and definitely not a week. We would have hung up on him by now. $800 a year. divide that by 12 months. That's how much it costs you to put insurance on your mobile home, protect your assets. That same $800 quote would guarantee what's the insurance policy? 20, 30K, give or take?
Yeah, about 25,000, and you can cancel it anytime, guys. You cancel the policy, it's a prorated refund, or if you're on monthly payments, then they just stop taking the payment out of your account. So you're not I'm not gonna hit you with hidden fees to cancel policies, anything like that. It's very easy. I make it easy for you guys. I send you a form to sign, policies canceled, no more payments come out of your account.
And look, again, guys, February 24th, the Mobile Home Mastery. Chris is going to be there in person because there's so many more questions. Right now we're just having him here more introduce himself, give you ideas. Can you put insurance on LLCs? You'll be talking about that. Can you transfer insurance from one entity to the next, from one owner to another? And the list goes on. So, this is the kind of stuff that if you're really, truly interested in investing and doing it right, you got to build that team sooner or later. And at this mastery, what we're doing is we're steady giving you the sources. Chris, you've been to, I think, 3 or 4 of these masteries now, even back when it was a Shadow J for a day, where you used to be part of
Yeah.
those as well. So what is one last thing you can tell some of the people watching to encourage them, bring them on board?
Um, Jay is an expert. He knows what he's doing. He's super personable and super knowledgeable. I can't wait to get out to this event. Yeah, I'm gonna have a ton more information. I'm gonna give out my personal cell phone to anyone who wants it, who wants to call or email or text me. We are here to help you guys succeed, and Jay's gonna do a great job. I'm really excited to see this new mastery class. I know it's gonna be one of the best ones.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Chris, thank you for joining us. I know we let you know at the last minute to come on and join us on here. So as always, you come through for us, and y'all watching, he can do the same for you. So February 24th, we will see you there.
Hey, no problem. Thank you so much for having me. Y'all have a good night.
Absolutely. All right, so there you have it. One thing I'm working on, and I know I'm still live on Zoom in the background, is every source. One of the things that we're always asking is what other tools can we give our investors? And it always comes down to what are we working on? What are we doing? Because if a source is good enough for us, it's good enough for y'all. And the reason we say that is because I bet all these people out. I won't ever. This really is for anyone. It's like I'm not going to vouch for someone that I don't know. There's always the sad side behind it that something could come back on you. If one of these contractors or one of these even insurance reps that I'm talking about here, Chris, or if they don't do what they should by you, it comes back on us. And it's not only just that, but it's like we are trying to grow this industry. We're trying to really scale, expand, and slowly but surely, I say slowly, but we are picking up momentum very, very quickly. More states are coming, more markets are coming, more deals are coming. And all of you that follow us on social media can be part of all that. This whole question about whether a park owner, park manager is going to accept you to come in and invest in their park. They allow subleasing. Can you have this strategy? It's always a maybe or no, and that's common because a lot of times you have to understand that a lot of these people don't know you yet. But when you come through us, the mastery, GMHU, it's like you have a different type of credibility. And I don't say that as bragging rights, but I know many investors that have tried and attempted to get into certain communities. And really, we're getting the run around. No, not right now, maybe later. We don't have any available, etc. We step in and send an email and obviously promote you as one of our students. Hey, I know that Mr. John has been reaching out to you, and he is one of our student investors. Here's some of the programs that they have completed, etc. That builds you into a different bracket now where you can invest. And the same thing is done for me by other investors. I know many park operators who have gotten me into markets that I know I would not be in if it weren't for them. So that is the kind of stuff that we're steady bringing to all of you here is a resource, a tool. And if we're not in certain states yet, we will be. If we're not in certain states yet, does not mean that we don't have the connections. We have the connections, so therefore that we're able to get into or get you connected with somebody. All right, let me go ahead and turn the camera over real quick. I'm gonna go over one or two deals real quick because I am gonna be talking about some of the changes. I've been talking about this for a while, and the changes are here. So You know what? Some of the deals that we had. Yeah, bear with me, guys. Bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to. I thought I had it up and rolling. There we go. So we'll talk a little bit more on the mastery coming up. But here we go. So I'm going to turn the camera back over. Some of these deals. Now, I'm going to leave this spreadsheet up until March 1st. We are going to go ahead and take it down and only provide it to certain specific investors, whether you're an investor student or you've already invested with us in the past. And what we are going to do is create credentials. So it was not going to be so easy as to just open the link and you're good to go. Every time you review this spreadsheet, you are looking at the latest and greatest. So one thing to remember is, whatever is on here, it's what's available now. Now, one thing that a lot of you can be doing and should have been doing is looking at the numbers. There's so much that you can learn just from reviewing the spreadsheet, from finding comps, because one thing we're doing now, and it did not get done today, but this is one of the mobile homes that we have the pre, meaning before pictures, before we got in and started doing a rehab. This same specific mobile home I'm showing on here now has HVAC. Now has all the floorings done. The whole entire home has been painted. A lot of updates, okay, light fixtures, just little things like that. Because for a lot of you investors asking what are some of the things I would do to it, now you have the ability to get on here and see, okay, well, this is the ugly beginning stages. And then you scroll down and you see this is what it looks like now. Now, every deal, is different. Every investment is different. Every investor is different. So it does not mean you have to do it exactly. But what you're doing is getting an idea of comparables, okay? Comparables, which is huge. Biggest mistake I see is investors paying too much or not asking enough for a mobile home. And it's because both ends, you don't know what the value is. So you're either over or under an offering, okay? So use that as an example. Now, let me see, the Dublin, okay? I know we're now announcing a little bit more on where the location is going to be. And for those of you who do sign up for the mastery, you will get an email directly with all the specific details as to where you can land if you fly. Guys, we have people coming from New York, from California. So, one thing I don't take as an excuse is it's too far for me to get there. Me, myself, and I, okay, I am very much a student still to many coaches, and I'm willing to travel. And sometimes, many times, that's what it takes, okay? Success, visions, goals, they're not going to hit you at home. You got to get out and go find them. So Dublin, Georgia is where we are going to be. Now, what you all can start doing now, if you are going to be joining the event, is all these tabs that you see here that says Dublin. What this means is Dublin, Georgia 34, meaning that it's lot 34 at the Dublin, Georgia community. Again, specific details will come to you. The day of the 24th, which is a Saturday, we will be going into every one of these homes, reviewing them inside and out. So if you already have an idea, okay, you're getting an idea of what these homes look like, what type of budgets you're going to be putting together, etc., you are going to be that better well off. Not to mention, when you come to the event on the 24th, you're not coming to learn and go home and think about it. You can if you choose to, but you'd be doing yourself a disservice on that. We are the only real estate educational platform that offers real deals, means real investments to our students. And that's something that I put on together years ago when I visited nothing against it, but I visited the Mastery, I visited the Fortune Builders. I even did at the time, it was called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which is now Legacy. But, they taught you so many things, which was phenomenal. But I felt like every time I left, I didn't exactly know how to get started. Okay. There was always that, well, where can I get this deal? I mean, it's good knowledge. I now know what to do, but who's really going to give me a deal? Or, that was always a question. I took that off the table because I said, you know what? We're not just going to teach people. At the end of the event, you're also going to be able to say, I want to go ahead and take this one. Dublin, Georgia, 25. And while you're at it, go ahead and give me Dublin, Georgia, 24, which this one just got rehabbed, by the way. We do need to update photos on this as well. Okay, we need to get those uploaded as well. But that is what the mastery is, okay? Now, back to the sheet and the deals. The reason that we are removing this here is, we need to be more specific on the details we can share because there's, we're growing and there's a bigger team, there's more admins, there's more sales agents, and that's fine and all. But if you look at the spreadsheet, this sheet is full of deals. All these are deals, deals, deals. Imagine this when we have 5, 6 more states on here, different markets. We have an approximate of 40 to 45 mobile homes right now that we are going to be moving forward in Marion, Illinois. So that's 45 more mobile homes being uploaded. We have to be able to now streamline and put all the details to save time. One thing you notice is missing on here is year, make, model, specific location. Okay. Some of these, and these are guidelines. Like we always say, it's, asking resale is 24,000. Rental rate, we're putting this on here to help you. Okay. To help you know that rental rate in this area, should you invest, okay, it's around 750. Asking 8,000, that's what we're asking for the home as is. Okay. Must stay in community. And again, detail and detail. But moving forward, one thing that you're also going to be able to see on here is park rule and regulations, okay, which is huge. Not every community operates the same way. Some communities may allow pets, specific ones. Some may not. Some may have certain amount of cars parking in their yard, etc. Little specifics like that, that though to you and I may sound like it's not that big of a deal, that can be a make or break for an buyer. And we've seen that a lot in communities where, unfortunately, they do not allow dogs in specific. Well, think about families that have 2, 3 dogs and have had these 2, 3 dogs for 5, 6 years. They're not just going to get rid of them because they're trying to move into your mobile home. And an unfortunate side to that is obviously now, the way I see it is I lost on a buyer or a potential tenant. But again, if I knew that up front that no pets allowed here, yes, pets allowed here, all those things make a difference. So, okay, you get off of this, share. There we are. So look, I am looking forward to, we're getting a lot of messages, and this happens every time we get closer and closer to the mastery or the live events, more questions start to come up. At this time, there are a few seats still available. Okay. Now, again, the location and all the real specific data is not going to be released unless you purchase a ticket. Dublin, Georgia. That's all you need to know. Okay. Dublin, Georgia. It is February 24th. Okay. The other specifics are more what you need to bring, what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be more so talking about. Kind of gives you more of, an outline of what to expect. It is not a full day, okay? Full day meaning 8 to 5. It is from 9 in the morning to 2 p.m. with an hour lunch, okay? Well, we're still thinking about potentially catering that in. We'll figure out those specifics, okay? So send us a DM, send us an email. You're going to be seeing a lot more stories of stuff that we're going to be talking about. And also, I know the link is in the bio, but if you cannot find it, send us an email. Send us an email, send us a DM, and we will get you that over. All right. Well, that's going to do it for tonight. The deals pitched. I know it was only a couple of deals. Saturday morning. Let me talk about Saturday morning for a slight second here. So 10 a.m. every Saturday morning, we do a weekly recap. Things we're working on. This obviously the Saturday is going to be a little bit more about what's coming up, which is some of the coaching, the mastery. But we also have another source that I want y'all to hear from. Okay. You always hear about these students coming through and they're doing phenomenal. They're flipping deals left and right. And I want y'all to hear from one of them who owns a business and has decided to come on board, actually visited our last mobile home mastery, which was last year in October. Since then, he's done quite a bit of success in the mobile home industry, and he's also going to be a source for specific material, meaning in Central Georgia, if you need a specific material, he is able to supply you with that. And again, this is what I'm talking about. A student that became an investor is now investing. He is killing it out there on the market. And now he's also a source for us for specific material. That's huge. That is the type of network we are growing. We all help each other. It's like one big family circle going around helping each other. Okay. All right. Join me Saturday, 10 a.m. live. We'll have Mr. Mark here for that. Until then, thank you for watching.